Tonight, of course, a big-ass Simulcast. It's going to be on ABC tonight at 10 o'clock, Contacting the Dead. So it's going to be a seance.
You know, I'm not surprised that this show is on, but do you realize that it's on ABC Fez instead of Fox or
I know
one of the other wacky channels?
It should be somewhere else. No, this is a legitimate network television, ABC. I think George Anderson is the medium's name. He's going to have Brett the Hitman Hart trying to contact his dead brother Owen.
Now, here's what I don't understand. Brett believes in this?
He must. Brett has gone insane. Let's face some facts. Brett went off the deep end a long time ago. Also, Mackenzie Phillips wants to contact her father.
I mean, at the very least, suppose you did kind of believe. Would you go on TV about somebody that you love?
Never. Never. It makes the whole thing a circus.
A cruel circus, yeah.
Also, Vanna White's going to try to contact a dead boyfriend.
How many pick and Val jokes are we going to be doing later?
And Robert Blake's dead wife's relatives are going to try to contact her, Bonnie Lee Bakley. So her sister and her mother will be on the show trying to contact her. This, of course, was filmed before last week's arrest of Robert Blake.
Who killed you, Bonnie? Who killed you, honey?
Tell Mama. Tell Mama who killed you.
So sick and weird and twisted. We're going to take a break. We come back. This really strange show.
The big-ass Simulcast coming up next. We're Ron and Fez.
1027 WNEW, New York. Ron and Fez, 1027 WNEW.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a big-ass Simulcast.
We're Ron and Fez going with ABC and Contact the Dead, the George Anderson special. It's Mackenzie Phillips, Vanna White, Brett the Hitman Hart, and Robert Blake's wife's family trying to contact their dead friends and relatives.
Remember, if you want to reach us during the Big Ass Simulcast, you have to go to WNEW.com on your computer.
Of your personal beliefs. The concept of communicating with the dead still fascinates and even frightens us. Tonight,
this guy's a whore.
Oh, he's hideous.
Whose lives have been.
Where do we know him from?
He used to do CNN.
Who's said to have the extraordinary ability to
did he ever do Entertainment Tonight?
No, it was Showbiz Tonight.
Oh, okay.
His dad is Moondoggy.
Out of that illness, he believes the ability to talk to the dead emerged, a true sixth sense. Over the course of his life,
I got a flu, now he can talk to the dead.
He's got a sixth sense and no other sense.
A life after death.
See why you can't talk to your real dad, Moondoggy.
His sessions are
now, how messed up is this guy that he needs the narrator?
News media, time and time again.
I know.
In reports seen on HBO, MSNBC, and CBS News. He's considered by many to be the...
George received
I see fake people.
that was impossible for
There's
him to
Dr.
know.
Gary Schwantz.
Dr. Gary Schwartz is professor of psychology.
Pull your
at the
Schwantz out,
University of
Schwartzy.
Arizona. He's conducted experiments to measure
Oh, there we go.
Anderson's ability.
Yes, it's a bathing cap with the wires on it. They must have tested them.
We're ready to believe you. Dr. Beckman.
They're the Ghostbusters. Well, may the Schwartz be with you.
In the mind of the sitters. And when you look at
Oh, that must work, Fuzzy. They got a diagram of how it works.
Oh, of course. Look, Ronnie, there's graphs. Of course, he must be psychic.
Sure.
I have sent patients to George
I'd spank
when
one of
I
you.
felt that his work...
I'm going to
would
need
be
to spank
helpful
one
to them.
before I am able to reach your dead father.
This many psychiatrists talk, and how often are we going to hear Billy Staples' name come up?
When I realized I had the ability, I'll be honest with you, frankly, I didn't know what to do.
On the instant feedback, Fuzzy, it says at the end of the show, and I hate to give it away, you'll find out the psychiatrist has been dead the whole time.
Ah!
But your grandmother claims that she is...
Oh, look, we got a room full of people crying.
She does that in front of you, meaning there's a link between us, always has been. She comes to you as a mom. She comes as a second mother.
What the hell?
I'm merely the instrument here. The souls use me as...
So he's drawing while he's reading.
To bring the messages to their loved ones here on the earth.
Right.
The one male claims he's a granddad, you understand?
Oh, he does the voice, Ronnie.
Oh.
But then he said, you don't know me, understood? But I know you. The souls want us to know that the loss is only temporary.
That made no sense, and yet the girl's crying in the audience.
Transition from one place.
She's crying because he kicked her right before the show started.
Is there anyone over there for me? Yes. It's him.
I like the Al Dukes haircut he's got going.
Do that writing, so to speak.
He's got Janet Reno's hand going.
Staying out of it is the most important thing for me to do, and that scribbling or doodling helps.
People ask, how is it possible that mediums could be talking to dead people? They're dead, right? What I say is, the energy and information that leaves our body is no different than the light and the energy from the distant stars.
How much are you getting paid?
What astrophysics tells us is that light and energy has a kind of immortality. The
We're all star
probability
stuff.
of survival of consciousness being true is the same probability that the light from distant stars continues forever.
But it's going away from the planet, not coming back.
To chat.
The light from the distant stars doesn't turn around and start heading back to the star.
George claims to be that person, a conduit
Claims to be, that's
between
right.
life and death. Tonight, we'll start off with a person who grew up on television as Julie Cooper.
I'm loving it.
Oh, here we go. Let's start with the nutcase.
She wants to contact her dad.
John Phillips.
Monday.
Daddy, there's about 30 of us going. No, I am
Why
not.
don't you try to contact Bonnie Franklin? She won't take your calls either.
How ironic. She's on one day at a time.
Right.
Father was John Phillips of the Mamas and
That's her program now.
Mackenzie has lived a very turbulent life and has experienced a great deal of personal loss.
How come you're not as hot as your mom?
Private.
Michelle Phillips.
George conducts all
Or I guess that's
steps
stepmom,
with
huh?
no advanced background on the subject. And for the purpose of this special
And when she's not doing this, she's doing those acne infomercials at 3 o'clock in the morning.
subject in a secluded
She's 50 and talking about acne like she just got it.
Ask your dad why you're still breaking out.
no idea who will be waiting for him. After the break,
Somebody spanked on her face.
Can you contact me, a dermatologist?
Oh, jeez.
Hi, Agatha.
Recognition, tears of anticipation.
To reach the dead doesn't mean you have to dig underground, you ghoul.
That mean you have to look at it like him.
George Anderson.
Oh, here we go, Beretta.
Oh, he's going to talk to Bonnie Lee Bakley's family.
Terrifying at first.
Is that Jersey Rich?
Says a very strong.
That's Jersey Rich right there.
Let's contact the dad with Jersey Rich. All right.
Let's make sure we break exactly with them. I don't want to miss a second tonight, okay, Hawk?
All right.
All right, we'll be right back. It's on ABC. If you can watch, if not, just listen along with us. It's a BigASS Simulcast with Ron and Fez.
Ron and Fez. Frequency 107 WNEW.
Back with the BigASS Simulcast at George Anderson's Contact the Dead on ABC. He's starting with Mackenzie Phillips.
Contact her dead career.
To me in any way, shape, or form.
I've never spoken to you ever before.
Thank you, and I will also testify to the same that I've never spoken to you.
Well, we believe you both.
Okay, so
Right,
without
they're
further ado,
testifying.
let us begin.
Testify.
Not like they're in court. They're sitting on a couch.
Oh, she's nervous.
There's a female coming forward, understood?
I understand.
She's
Why would
apologizing
you
that she
understand?
distanced herself from you. And she
Oh, my
states
God. She's already crying.
she does regret it.
Is this Eddie
she
Van
just
Halen's
said
wife?
If she didn't show up today, you'd go out of here thinking, oh, see, I'm right. She's ticked off. She embraces you in sisterliness. She says, how much closer can I get?
Is it Martian?
This is how
She's
she
already
wants
crying.
to be remembered by you.
The sister, who wasn't really my sister, as I'm sure was my cousin Patty, who died at 25.
And she's feisty. So she says she'll take on anybody who challenges her. That she says, it's my life. I know what I'm talking about.
Excuse me, who's
Patty
challenging
was
her in the
just an
afterlife?
incredible
How horrible. What are we doing, bullfighting in
She was
heaven?
incredibly beautiful with
All right, there's the picture of her, even though we didn't know she was going to be coming in.
She was feisty.
We get her high school
had the
picture.
courage for convictions, absolutely.
God,
It
look at you.
seemed very important for the subject's sister, in quotes,
Hello.
to arrive first.
So you
no
have a
doubt
sister.
to settle a misunderstanding that was long overdue. And she keeps saying that she is all right and in a happy place. She has found herself again. And she states, you never
Look at her
failed
crying.
me.
Let's do the time warp again. She looks like the guy from,
Failed me.
She's riffraff.
she's Riff
A
Raff.
little picked off at you also.
Toward the end of Patty's life, I kind of pushed her away.
The dad's too busy drinking right now to be able to come in and see her.
So out of control, and so was I, and the contamination was just frightening. I think she was supposed to come over a week before she died, and I canceled at the last minute, and
You got so much going on.
Yeah, start
had I
smoking
not heard
coke.
from her, it would have been just too much, yeah.
There's another female coming forward now.
I hope it's Bonnie
I'm
Franklin.
trying to listen carefully because she embraces you as a mother, but she says, I'm not her mother.
That's Bonnie Franklin.
Pretty much raised from age 14 on by my Aunt Rosie, who's my father's sister.
O'Donnell.
But she is a mom to you.
Yes.
Okay, then we'll just not argue with this woman.
Don't argue with her.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, you can't argue with any of the dead.
She says, I'm here and in a happy place also.
Sobbing like an animal.
Where is she? But she says, we're all here with you. We've never left you. Because she had great influence in your life.
Do you hear someone choking? That might be Mama Cat.
She taught me how to, like, do the dishes and make my bed.
I really did very well. Come on, Coach, that one.
Bulldozer of a woman.
Bulldozer of a woman. That's Mama Cass.
You know, when he said,
In heaven, no one chokes on ham.
he was absolutely right. Don't
Swallow it whole.
You live in ham in
Okay, a
heaven.
male presence comes to you. I take
My father's house has many hams.
Whoever he is seems to want to be established immediately. I'm here. There's apparently more to it than meets the eye.
All right, finally, the big gun. John Phillips.
We'll have more of Mackenzie after the break.
What? Another
You know
break?
him to be a straight shooter. As he states, I'm a straight shooter.
With Brett, it'll be, you know me to be a sharpshooter.
There it is.
Reaches out to his younger brother, whose death during a
Lord,
wrestling
Brett.
stunt has left him
Why, Brett,
searching for
why?
answers.
I've always wanted to go, what the hell were you thinking about when you did that?
Brett, don't do it now. Don't do it.
The murdered wife of Robert
God.
Blake speaks out.
Because she admits she wants to pass on. You could not save her.
Oh, God, they're as pretty as she is.
All right, we'll do a quick break and come back to these horror masters. It's the Ron and Fez show. All right, Ron and Fez, we are back with ABC BigASS Simulcast.
Contact the dead. Mackenzie Phillips waiting to hear from her dad, John Phillips.
My dad surprised me the most. He did finally say things that I've been hoping to hear for
I
100
hate you.
years.
For 100 years? How long has he been dead?
Says, don't put words in my mouth. Some days, it's almost like you think he may be kind of mad at you.
Sure,
And he
we all
keeps
are.
telling me, I'm not mad at you. He says, you know me. If I'm mad at you, you'd hear about it.
And what's going to happen? The roof caves in?
As he says, how could I possibly be mad at the beloved daughter that I love so much?
She used to rat hole on my junk for me.
And he certainly knows that you love him. He's coming to you today to basically, and as he puts it, relieve a lot of the guilt trip on you since he passed on. He's got
She's
that
just sobbing for no apparent reason.
very
She's been
nice getting
sobbing
to know
before
your
she
sense of
sat
humor.
down.
So he says, now don't go home and read between the lines and put in, because you know him
Don't
to be a
question
straight
this
shooter.
man.
I think she puked.
And this is how you know it's him.
Well, first of all, I heard my father's sense of humor coming through.
Yeah, it was
And
real
then when
funny.
he said,
Hysterical.
I'm a real straight shooter. And that's how you'll know it's me. I don't know if anybody out there are Mamas and Papas fans, but one of my favorite Mamas and Papas songs is called Straight Shooter. He used that phrase all the time, and when George said, I'm a real straight shooter, and that's how you know it's me,
So
I was floored.
this guy couldn't go back and look at a Mama's Papa's album?
Drink.
You F.
Because he's apologizing for substance abuse.
I know
no one
you're
knew that.
I know you're California dreaming, but
That he apologizes for his
Oh,
alcohol.
by the way, young girls are coming to the canyon.
He just
Oh,
wasn't
and I saw her again last night.
Not that he's making an excuse, but as he says, the alcohol took
Isn't
the
it odd, Fez, the show is on Monday?
made him feel that it wasn't so bad. As he says, he's walking fine. He says, I'm walking fine and back to my old self. He also
I'm laying in a box.
having extreme difficulty in the chest.
I have lots of livers now.
Yeah, the difficulty is that his heart stopped 2 years ago.
That would probably make sense.
And it's so Dad. It's so Dad, my liver shot. And then when he said, I can walk okay now, my father had had both of his hips replaced.
Yeah, there's no way that he'd
the
be able
recovery
to
from it
find
was
that
very
out.
difficult. He was never able to walk well or properly ever again. There were a lot of parts of my father's death were public knowledge, but the things that George knew about the breathing and that he passed in a sleep state. And
Oh, that people quit breathing when they die? Yeah, that's weird.
Say they are going to depart.
What was he, a
But your
cyborg?
dad,
He didn't have anything that was his.
your sister, all the different people out here embrace you with love, that you're not alone. Because sometimes in your own life you feel you're so alone.
She'll be alone after this show.
And they say they hope that their coming to you has helped you to feel that you have found your way home and you're still part of
I'd rather she dug up her dad's grave and took his watch than did this.
And in fulfillment as you're supposed to do.
Did he say anything about a watch?
We all meet again. Know that we're always
I just want to see Bret Hart put the sharpshooter on this guy.
With that, they sign off.
He's a sharpshooter. I hope he says instead of straight shooter.
Okay, away they went. The group. But thank you very much.
All right, now get out. Get out.
She didn't get one thing about her dad.
No, all he said is that I'm here, and you know I'm here because I'm a sharpshooter.
Intensely personal.
And I don't hate you from beyond.
Got my grandma. Those are all people that
Shape-shifted.
I feel like
if they shaped you,
if you love them,
put
a gun in your mouth and go join them later.
Before today.
Bret the Hitman Hart has been a wrestling legend for more than 20 years. There's millions of fans around the world who have cheered his successes.
Oh, there's Flying Brian. Will you contact him too?
Pain he suffered outside the ring. Okay, immediately
I'm loving this
one
already.
comes as mom.
I wish he was wearing his outfit.
Yes.
His mom. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, Helen Hart's coming out
not
first.
Not that long ago, understood?
She's on the undercard.
She states she's still considered a
Stu's
new
hanging
arrival.
himself while this is on.
But your mother admits, she says, during the ordeal, she wasn't afraid. Understood?
Yeah.
She's a real trooper.
She said she was born in Calgary. Does that mean anything to you?
Barely a month ago.
I see a dungeon.
It just seemed like she was talking to me the same way she always has.
Is there an anvil in your life?
The term that my used for trooper is a word that my mom would have referred to herself as a trooper, for sure.
She speaks of your life being demanding, yes?
Yes.
Understood?
Yeah. I've got the weight of the world on my shoulders.
If she puts it,
I'm a hero.
It's as if you lead a double life. It's not that you lead a double life. It's just that you may want to be one place, but something has to be somewhere else.
Life.
Yeah.
And that's what she means by a double life.
As a son of a wrestler and then growing up to be a wrestler in a profession where you
had to wear pink.
It was never real, but to everyone else that talks to you, it is real.
No, not one other person thought it was real.
No, only you believe it's real now, Brett.
The costume on, and you go out and you do the whole thing.
He just said he's like Batman.
You're Bruce Wayne.
Your mother talks about the family always suffering from a lack of
You Mark.
Yeah.
Yes, they're
It wasn't
Canadian.
a normal American family.
No, we're Canadian.
By any means.
He's going to kill you for calling him American.
Family, as your mother states, it's like the Titanic, every man for himself.
There's 12 kids in the family, almost one.
They all drowned after we hit an iceberg.
What mother would describe her family as the Titanic?
You know, we used to call it the Munster.
You're horrible!
We didn't have much in the way of neighbors. We just had each other. As kids,
Literally, sexually.
I think we fought and loved each other a lot.
Ew.
And it makes for a funny existence, I guess, just that.
Name one funny joke.
That there is jealousy around you, understood?
Yes.
Earl Green appears around you, and she shows me the scene out of Gone with the Wind where Scarlett says to Rhett, I wanted everybody to be pea green with envy. It's not that you wish that.
That's because Helen Hart lived through the Civil War.
Jealousy and resentment is directed at you, and just wants to make sure you understand it's not your fault.
Yes, everyone's jealous of you, Brett.
Siblings that are very much jealous of me, and I feel bad, I think, sometimes for it because you
have the title.
I feel guilty for
because you were world champ and they never were.
Which is something I've talked to my mom about a lot.
Who's Farouk?
Don't misunderstand what I'm about to say, but your mother just showed me a scene out of the movie Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. In other words, she's trying to tell me there's a lot of brothers.
Right.
7 brides for well, I've got 7 brothers.
Yeah, that's hard to figure out. Look at the family photos he's provided.
She did live as a bereaved mother, yes?
Yes.
Because she says she knew what it was like to lose a child.
Right.
She speaks about the loss of a child twice. Understood?
Yes.
She says the 2 sons are here with me. Most people seem to feel that this
fell
is just
from a ceiling.
You contacted Mrs. Von Erich by mistake.
We'll have more with Bret Hart after this.
My brother Owen was talked into doing a stunt.
Who's the blue blazer, and why is that important to you?
Top of the ceiling in the Kemper Arena in Kansas City. He died in the rain.
Owen is saying, why didn't you ever take the mask off me?
There's not one thing so far that hasn't appeared in books and TV shows.
Yeah, we knew every bit of that about John Phillips.
Right. the straight shooter, and now say no, you have two dead brothers? How hard is that to look up?
Now it's been revealed that, yes, indeed, Bret Hart came from a large family. They've revealed it tonight on ABC.
All right, Al Dukes, I want you to get a medium on our show tomorrow night. And I want to find out if I can contact Fez after he dies.
No!
I don't want you to be down the neck round with no contact.
I want contact, but I don't want to talk about me dying. Yeah.
Can you get us somebody, Al?
Yeah, I'll try to get someone.
And then would you kill yourself and I'll call you tomorrow night after the show?
Book a medium to contact yourself after we kill you.
And then book 2 extra larges for me and Fez. Book yourself a medium and then 2 extra larges for us.
So we're still going to hear from Owen Hart, hopefully.
Yes, he's actually going to come back chanting, "I'm not a nugget."
And then we also need to hear from Vanna White. I think she's looking for a boyfriend who was killed in a plane crash, as well as her mother. And then we're going to talk to Bonnie Lee Bakley's family, Robert Blake's wife, who was murdered.
Has anybody fallen for this stuff at all?
Well, he's not saying anything.
And they keep breaking for commercial. Hey, if you want to reach us on the instant feedback, some of the stuff, funny, that they're sending in tonight is WNEW.com on your computer and the Ron and Fez section.
So you can contact us that way. And the show is the BigASS Simulcast, and it's ABC. It's on right now. It's Contact with the Dead. It's the George Anderson special.
But Brian's saying wrestlers live double lives. And it's fake, and he has 7 brothers. You must be a psychic.
See, there's nothing that any of the rest of us don't know.
No.
Or that you couldn't find out on the internet.
Oh, yeah, exactly. If you read the Hart family books, and there's tons of them. It's the same crap. We know they're fighting with each other.
And these families are obviously providing them with plenty of photos.
And Brett, I mean, talk about doing fake stuff. At least you had some dignity in wrestling.
Oh, he's gone. He's over the edge at this point.
Your mom's dead a month, and you're babbling like Billy Staples on the TV show? And it always gets back to being about himself. Yeah, they're jealous of the big green man.
Yeah, that Bret Hart's mother comes back to tell him, everyone's so jealous of you. You're so good. You're my favorite.
Why would she say anything bad about the rest of the family?
Now, if any of the other Hart children had shown up to do this, the psychic would have told them the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone likes you, and you're good, and you're a hero.
And your dad has a humpback and walks around like a question mark. Does that mean anything? Your dad's shaped like a question mark. What does that mean?
You enjoy a stew? What?
I'm seeing a pot of stew. What does that mean?
A bent over pot of stew. Someone bent over a pot of stew.
Oh, my God. That's my dad. He's bent, and his name was Stew. No, I'm reading S-T-E-W. So it can't be your dad. This is actually a pot of stew.
So hopefully we'll get to hear from Owen when we come back. And how about that Mackenzie Phillips? Just eat on. Everything that came through for her. Eat on.
I see you with a Mexican blanket over your back. Are you a barrel or some kind of a donkey? I thought so. I see you peaking at age 16. Does that mean anything to you?
I see a building superintendent who keeps letting himself into your apartment.
Is there a Snyder somewhere? I see you not getting a Van Halen brother. What does that mean?
What went so wrong?
I wish Owen Hart would have showed up and beat up Mackenzie Phillips. Here we are back to Contact.
Talking to the Dead on ABC. It's our BigASS Simulcast.
Here's Jim Murray, half a fag.
We saw George make contact with Bret Hart's recently departed mother, Helen. Now Bret is about to hear from 2 brothers whose deaths continue to haunt him.
There's 2 males claiming that they're brothers to you. You know, one brother...
He hated it when The Undertaker did this stuff.
He could have been closer, understood?
Yeah.
But he admits having a great deal of problems on the earth that got in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you and this one brother must have definitely conflicted, understood? His egos
the bucking of heads.
Jealous again?
My brother was Dean. He was sort of my closest brother as a kid growing up. And then as we got older, we weren't that close anymore. And then he eventually passed away. I've always felt like
because here's the thing, the Hart brothers are now reaching their 70s.
I don't
so
know
many
if we butted
GD
heads quite as much, but I could see my brother Dean thinking we did.
No, it's never your fault, Brett, is it?
Thinking that all the way.
You couldn't possibly be responsible for the joy you bring to the earth.
Yeah.
I get
Between you and he.
by Vince McMahon.
Because he just tells me to tell you I
spitting on somebody.
Understood?
Yeah.
You're trying to end up one
Now,
time.
your other brother does draw close, understood?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's one that there's a gap with, and yet there's another one that there's closeness with.
Yes.
Because your other brother comes to you.
That's the Blazer.
If I didn't know better, well, actually he is emotionally your best pal.
What's the sharpshooter mean?
My brother Owen was talked into doing a stunt where they wanted to be released from a top of the ceiling in the Kemper Arena in Kansas City. They dropped him 78 feet to his death with no safety cables or anything. He died in the ring.
He begged to do it, or he wouldn't have been on the pay-per-view.
What the hell were you thinking about when you did that? You know, where was I? You know, and I carried that.
Here with WCW.
Remember?
Your other brother states you actually, you kind of babied him, understood?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Because he was
looks
the
upon
baby?
you in a fatherly manner, understood? Because he keeps hugging you. As his dad, his brother, his friend, that you made such a difference in his life for the time he was
Brad's
here on the
wondering
earth.
what time he gets paid.
And he just wants to
Because he
make
can't
sure
bend over far enough to hug his real dad.
Forget that because he has not forgotten it.
Well, I think of my brother Owen.
You ate stew with him?
I think of all times. I think I taught him how to tie his shoelaces. I taught him how to play Cowboys in India. I taught him
how to play Cowboys and Indians. How hard's that?
That's the one thing Stu could have done. He stares at his shoelaces all day.
do as well or do better than me.
Because he does thank you.
Again, it's compared. He couldn't do as well as me.
I got the strap.
For the brother that you babied, you're like his hero.
Why don't you teach him how to...
Brett's crying.
Yeah.
Conversation.
Why, instead of teach him to tie his shoes, teach him how to tie a safety cable. Here they come.
That I've been blessed with.
Is that Owen?
Relationships and the matches and the... I always imagined someday I would sit on my porch and talk to my brother Owen.
And both brothers remarked that in your loss of them and your mother, you've had to suffer in silence.
How odd. The only brothers that would talk to you are both dead. Try getting along with the ones on
The
Earth.
expression life stinks and then you die.
Oh, that's great.
That you've thought that. Like, all right, well, they're gone, and you can never make things better.
As long as Brett's unhappy, I'm a little bit happier.
It's never too late to make things better, and they're glad that they have the opportunity to do so.
Hit this guy with a chair, Brett.
But the crowd of people that were here are telling me they're pulling back from me.
Has
and they
said,
do ask
Double
that you
J.
continue to pray for them.
You broke into his dressing room and wrote racial slurs.
Just think back to today when you're overwhelmed.
Does the term slap nuts mean anything to you? I see a double J coming through.
And with that, they step aside.
Or is that your dad just turned upside down?
It's kind of like what I thought it would be. I was hoping I would hear something from my mom. Again, it seemed like a conversation I would have had with my mom just a few months ago.
Wait till they get a load of me.
Almost a little too cozy. It was like thought I was back in the kitchen, talking to her.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear from my brother Owen. I thought he captured the big brother or the closeness that I had with my brother Owen.
How could he?
I wanted to hear from my brother Dean.
Malenko.
I just thought it came across very...
I went there from Prime Blind Pullman.
For nearly 2 decades, Vanna White has been a welcome...
So, wait a minute. The only thing we got from Owen Hart is like you were like a brother to me? To his own brother?
It doesn't seem to be that real, I'll admit.
This was hideous.
This will be their first.
Here comes King Gimp back for another reading.
With you, a female presence comes to you, so I take it you understand?
Pat Sajak.
She states she is your mom. She also tells me that she's very close with you. And I take it you certainly understand.
Your mom's close.
Yes.
She taught me the alphabet. I based my career on it.
But also is
Your mom loves you.
Your mother speaks of health trouble prior to her passing, yes?
Yes.
She does speak of an illness affecting a majority of
She
her
wants to buy a
physical
valve. You know what that means?
spreads. She speaks of it being like a cancer.
My
That
mother's
would be
cancer
cancer.
began with ovarian.
It spread like a cancer. Oh, you mean her cancer spread like a cancer?
And 7 years later,
You think the dead would be more eloquent with their words?
And she died after a couple of months after finding more cancer.
Now
We all wish we were dead after the show.
Yes.
Too bad she didn't have a free spin.
What's that mean?
Now I'm confused again. She brings up
I never watched
twice.
the show.
You understand?
Yes.
And I'll buy the grandfather clock and put the rest on a Spiegel gift certificate.
About two dads. I do have two dads.
Because
my biological father
And his
my
lover.
stepfather, Herbert, adopted me when I was 3. So he became my father.
Herbert White.
Also heard
And the two of them used to 69 in front of me.
But passed on?
Yes.
Because she's bringing up brother.
Yes.
That's why when you were born,
It's Owen
you
again.
were so exceptionally special.
Owen wanted more time.
Because she had lost
Is that
a child
Dave Matthews
prior
talking to
you,
her?
And then felt extremely blessed when you were born and arrived safely.
When George said the name David, I felt chills because my mother
That's crazy.
told me before I was born
My mother's name was David.
she had a son named David. And this must be the same David because
Who was
she
king
said
of the
he was
Jews.
my brother. So
It was David Caruso. We haven't seen him in years.
that's something that I've never told anyone.
Also Helen, too.
Helen Hart, yeah, she's
Passed
back.
on.
She won't go
Understood.
away.
Leave it with you. Your mother's insisting yes. So she says she's here with us. This soul seemed to lose her patience.
We know Jersey Rich.
This may not be understood right
Why would a
now.
soul
but it
lose
will
their
be
patience?
understood.
Oh.
And just insisted
They have to
that it was correct and to leave it with the subject that the subject would recall.
Helen, isn't
She's on
Helen
the phone with her dead mother.
Dad's mother's name?
How's heaven?
Hello? What? Shouldn't
It's
I
long
know
distance.
My grandmother's name? Thanks. Bye.
You're retarded.
Helen is my grandmother.
You're absolutely
Oh.
retarded.
So I think with this they're going to pull back.
She thought it was Helen Hunt.
I'm just hesitating because your mother said, wait, don't go.
Career she should have had.
I was under the impression that the session was coming to its conclusion. Then it seemed as if a white veil was starting to come down between us. And all of a sudden,
Oh, that's the fast money
it
round.
was held by the soul in the hereafter. It was lifted again.
You won't get off the game show, will you? That's your thing.
No.
Here's your chance. Speak
Here's your
now or
chance,
forever hold
Corky.
your peace.
That
Besides,
bastard
people
people.
have come forward. Another male comes forward. You understood?
Yes.
He says you're waiting for him.
I felt that the session
That's
was
it,
about
Jack.
to end, and in my head I was saying, oh, please, please, I would love to speak to John.
Nipsey Russell.
Say it out loud. You're
He
there
was
with a medium.
killed in a plane crash. And lo and behold, he came forward.
I had to be the big
I think my
bopper.
mother had something to do with it.
Her two dads were the big boppers.
After the break, we'll see more of Vanna and
Oh,
hear
God,
about the loss
another break.
that broke her heart.
Well, we can't wait.
He stole my heart, and he broke my heart.
He broke his stolen heart.
Murdered wife, Bonnie, shed some light on her own death. He says, I do.
You're an idiot, Murray. You believe completely now.
Coming up, we will have Robert Blake's dead wife speaking for the first time.
Well, I hope this shows up in the court case. Are we going to break here, Hawk?
Hawk wants us to break.
This is painful. It's the BigASS Simulcast on ABC right now. You're listening to Ron and Fez.
Ron and Fez back with the BigASS Simulcast. Vanna White talking to a former boyfriend killed in a plane crash.
Woman that ever came into his life. And he doesn't mean that just because of your physical beauty, because of the beauty within.
Yeah.
When he
She's so nice. He forgot when he was banging her.
Boy, this is just a complimentary medium. Everyone's the greatest and most beautiful.
Then he speaks of the relationship as sometimes being very one-sided.
Yes.
He put more into it than
He used to
did.
spank on me.
That's what he meant by one-sided.
He wouldn't give me a reach
That
around.
movie with Marlon Brando, The Wild One. So a bit on the wild side, no
Right.
doubt.
We were bikers.
John was a wild one. I never knew from day to day what was going to happen. It was great. It was a great life. It was challenging. It was fun. It was never boring.
Yeah, at times it would make you crazy, he says, because it
Not
seemed
nearly
he
as
couldn't
boring
make
as
up his
turning
mind.
letters
He
every
wasn't
day
sure
for
of
30
himself.
years.
He was very insecure on the earth.
He wasn't sure that he was ready to make a
Bang me.
commitment.
Oh,
and
God.
get
Why
married
couldn't
and
Beretta have
children.
married her?
So I think that's what he was talking about. And I was very patient. I adored him and loved him, and I was waiting for him.
You never gave up on him, and he thanks you for never giving up on him. This
He
is how
thanks
he
you for
knows
all
that
the
you
anal
always
you
love him
supplied
still
over the last few years.
do, because as he states, most people
The
would
skull
have
was
just
fabulous.
said the heck with it.
I think John had to say a lot because he left.
I'd say Jack is laughing his ass off right now.
I think we didn't
just
have
wiping tears out of his eyes.
He does love you. He always has.
What a dumb broad.
This love that had been so powerful, it did not die. It was hooking up again.
Yeah, she should marry him now.
Again,
she should dig his ass up and marry him now.
Climb in the box and sleep with him.
Was very special. It puts a smile on my face.
Your dad, your grandparents, the other people, your brother, everybody else that was here.
This guy looks like he's running one with this hand of his.
By the way, you got one living relative? I'd like to...
Anyway, he went.
I cannot believe some of the things that he said.
You don't believe any of them, honey.
I lost my mother with cancer. He dwelled on that.
You lost your mother?
Look behind the couch. In a tragic plane crash. He hit it right on the head.
How could he have done that?
He said it's real. No one can know some of the things that he said. I'm sure people are out there saying, oh, this is baloney.
That's me.
People can believe whatever they want.
We're saying he's fake. We're saying your breasts are fake.
I believe it. And it's very special to me. Yes, I am private, but this was very touching to me.
Show us your privates.
It means something to me. Perhaps it doesn't.
If he was trying to contact you, the letters would be different on the puzzle you turned around.
I'd believe it if he
spell out messages to you.
I believe it if he gave us a beef shot.
Wife, Bonnie Lee Bakley, was shot and killed in Los Angeles.
There we go, Beretta.
This case of her murder has never been solved. In the wake of this tragic death, Bonnie's mother and sister have come to George hoping to find some answers. As a reminder, no one has given George any information on the Bakeleys, nor does he know who the session will be with.
My sister Bonnie was just recently killed last May in Hollywood.
Molly Shannon should play her.
To an actor, Robert Blake, and there's a lot
of... Oh, look, it's Mimi from the Drew Carey Show.
Surrounding her death. She was a feeling, caring, loving woman.
That's how we hear.
She wanted to be famous. And she met...
Chubby Checker, Jerry Lee Lewis, Beretta.
Had a baby and got married. Unfortunately, it wasn't the ideal life. I'm hoping that Bonnie comes through with a clue that nobody has picked up on.
Yeah.
That
makes sense.
Help to solve.
We got this clue from the dead.
Well,
we got another clue. Only this time it came from the dead.
Beretta's walking. Here's the evidence.
To just want fame and then to die for it.
That me. Here's a clue. There's a bullet in her brain.
Marjorie and Marjorie. They're both named Marjorie, just spelling it different.
To both of you. And this is a young female.
I see two Marjories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is not an elderly woman. This is a young female who definitely has not been there that long, true? Because she says to me, I just got here.
In hell.
Now, she tells me she has
It sure is hot in hell.
to you.
Yes.
Because she embraces you with love, says she's your daughter, and you're her mom.
I'm not sure, but I think that's Martian and Christie.
You as a sister.
Sure, it's 2/3 of
For some reason,
Billy's
your daughter
Angels.
keeps emphasizing she's all right. There must be a reason that you need to hear that. Yeah, she says you're frightened for her. Again, she's safe. She's frightened for you as to how...
Because he'll kill again.
You're dealing with the situation. From the way she was speaking to me...
Can you be frightened in death?
I could tell that there was something...
Heaven is a frightened place? I'm very nervous about my folks.
Not being spoken about. I don't understand.
They really throw that eternal peace thing out of there.
Yeah, right.
Right out the window.
It's nothing.
Because she speaks of a tragic
Was
past.
she killed by a little rascal?
She says it was...
I see a stymie.
First.
Was there a
Then
fright?
she says...
I know,
very strong calm came over her. She says she knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
She says, I'm not surprised at where I was.
She's always saying, I finally got everything I've always wanted. I've got a famous husband. I've got a beautiful little baby with her.
What a
I
whore.
don't think I'm going to live to enjoy it.
She doesn't.
All I've ever wanted is a famous husband.
Her life. But she doesn't want to say she committed suicide.
Right.
You marry Robert Blake, you're committing suicide.
She knew the death was coming, and that's what makes it all the harder.
Oh, the
We
happier.
all knew it was coming about. It's unrealistic.
Then take the baby and get the alimony.
Even when it does happen.
Because she says that she passed from health trouble. But the health trouble was being sick at heart.
She always wanted love, desperately seeking the...
Susan.
the love of her life. And
Mickey from Little Rascals.
Never found it. She was very disappointed in all relationships.
Yes, most people consider bullets unhealthy.
I guess specifically with the last one.
I didn't know a lot of prostitutes were seeking love, but okay.
And she was sick at heart because she knew she couldn't go on.
She says, I don't want to speak about the circumstances of my death.
Too
She
bad.
says, they already know that. She says, you don't have to go over that again and relive the agony. She says, we have to take up.
Oh, how odd that the nation's most famous victim won't tell us who murdered her.
If she just told us the last person that she saw when she was alive, that would be it.
To be addressed where the souls out of love know automatically what we need to hear, and that's what they will address. For example, in this session, the loved ones wanted to know specifics as to how their loved one died, but what they really needed was to know that she is okay.
No,
we
it's
know
not
how
true.
my sister was killed, and I believe we already know who was responsible for her death. There was no need to hash it up again because we've been over and over it for the last 5 months.
Not with her.
There's nothing new to say
These
about
two are going to try to get everything. They're going to be living in Beretta's house.
She wants to make sure that you understand you didn't fail her.
I can't believe it, but these two are actually the pretty ones of the family.
Understood?
Yeah.
They got all the looks.
Save her.
Well, my sister wanted me to come out and live with her, and
Was there a Huggy Bear anywhere around?
actually she had me help her drive her things to California, and I wouldn't go all the way. I left in Dallas.
Oh, she went all the way.
She drove on, but she wanted me to be there with her so bad, and I just felt
What a
terrible
pig.
that I wasn't there, and I couldn't stop her from going.
Why
and
was she charging $600 for Around the World, and what does that
in
mean?
Memphis and not going out to Hollywood? I believe she'd still be alive.
You think so?
As a matter of fact, and this is nothing
Idiot,
to do
if she had
with
stayed in Jersey?
What are the natural causes, you morons? There's a bullet in the head.
death, he comes to you in compassion to assure you that your sister's passing was a peaceful one.
And Robert
the
Blake.
circumstances.
Just a bullet ripping through her brain.
Yeah, that's the only bad part. Other than that, it was very nice. Robert Blake said he'd give you both $16,000 if you'd shut up.
According to Blake, she was in the car gurgling blood.
Right now they do.
Sounds great.
But she just blabbed to everybody. But she has to because this is
What did they eat at that Italian restaurant?
that you've had to him on her behalf.
I think I'll get some lasagna at home.
When we come back, we'll have more with the Bakeleys
No,
and see
we
their
won't be coming
reaction
back, my
as
friend.
Bonnie sends her sister
Brown
a
and Fez
gift
are getting out of
from
here.
beyond the grave.
A few days before doing this with you,
The nasty.
a female kept coming to me and telling me to make sure that I brought a certain article with me.
And I brought in some panties.
And that is a dead cockatoo.
Well, let's get out of here, Fez.
Wow, this guy's really bad. That was Contact Talking to the Dead with George Anderson, our big-ass Simulcast tonight. That is it for Ron and Fez. We're done. We're going to be back tomorrow.
Tomorrow we're actually, should we even do another BigASS Simulcast for the Aussies? Sure. I don't know if I can handle them anymore. This thing took everything out of me.
You'll feel different tomorrow, you'll rest.
You think?
And I'm sure Owen's still trying to reach somebody.
Poor Owen Hart. How embarrassing. Do you realize the rest of the Hart family must have been just sitting around shocked?
His brother put him in tights and dragged him through the ring one more time. That is it for us. We'll be back tomorrow right after Opie and Anthony at 7 o'clock.